It started like most things do, with trust. Every Saturday morning, she'd be up by 7. Coffee. Light makeup. Soft blouse, dark pants. Hair tied up. "I've got reports due Monday," she'd say. "My boss is on my ass again." I'd nod. She worked in finance. Numbers, spreadsheets, late nights, all of it made sense. And I was proud. She was ambitious. Driven. So when she left for the office on weekends, I never questioned it. Never once checked. I'd stay home, do the laundry, make something slow for dinner. She'd text me photos of her lunch, a coffee cup, a traffic jam on the way back. "Sorry babe, I'll be home late." It became routine. Weekends weren't ours anymore, they were hers. And I accepted that. Until one Saturday, 5 months in, I got up early. Made her favorite, vanilla latte, oat milk, light foam, and thought, screw it. I'll surprise her. She'd been working so hard. She deserved something good. And maybe, selfishly, I missed her. So I drove across town to her office building. She'd given me the address months ago when she started. Pulled into the parking lot. Empty. The front lobby lights were off. The elevator was gated. No receptionist. No cars. No noise. I tried the door. Locked. I double-checked the sign. Open Monday to Friday. Closed weekends. I stood there in the quiet for maybe a minute. Just me, the coffee, and a growing, bitter question. Where the hell is she? I stood there for a few more minutes, just thinking. Maybe there was another entrance. Maybe the company rented weekend space somewhere else. Maybe I was overreacting. But the building was locked up like it hadn't seen a human in days. Not even janitorial staff. So I did the thing I never had to do before. I called her. She picked up on the second ring. "Hey babe," she said chipper. "Everything okay?" "Yeah. Just wondering how it's going." "Ugh, it's a mess. I'm neck deep in reports. My boss is breathing down my neck." I just stepped out to grab lunch. I looked around. Nothing. No cars. No restaurants in sight. Just an old vending machine humming like it didn't know it was lying for someone. "Where exactly are you right now?" "Near the office. That deli on 8th. "Why?" Her tone was casual. Relaxed. I felt something tighten in my chest. It wasn't jealousy. Not yet. It was the way she was too smooth. Too detailed. "No reason. Just thought I'd bring you a coffee." A pause. Just half a second. But I heard it. "That's so sweet. But I just got one. Maybe tomorrow?" She was good. Sharp. Practiced. But now I was listening in a different way. The call ended, and I stood outside the building for another 5 minutes, just staring at the doors. The coffee in my hand had gone cold. And so had something else. Something deeper. Because whatever she was doing, it wasn't working. And it wasn't lunch. I didn't say anything that night. She came home late, like always. Keys dropped on the counter. Shoes off. Smile on her face. "God, I'm exhausted. You're the best for calling earlier. I needed that." She kissed me. Took a sip of wine. Went straight to the shower. I stood in the kitchen, staring at her work bag. Normally, I wouldn't have. But normal didn't apply anymore. So I opened it. Laptop. Folder. Charger. And a paper receipt, folded in half, not for lunch. A hotel bar tab. Dated that day. 2 glasses of wine. That deli on 8th didn't serve wine. And she didn't mention the hotel. Later, as she changed into pajamas, I noticed her perfume. Stronger than usual. Something new. Floral, not musky. "That's different," I said. Your scent." "Oh," she smiled. "Sample from work. You like it?" I nodded. But I knew her office didn't give out perfume. Over the next few days, I stopped asking. And started watching. She took longer showers. Started taking her calls in the other room. Turned her phone face down every time she set it down. Her excuses came dressed as details. Which spreadsheet took longest? What Linda from HR said? How she hated the new elevator music. But there was always too much story. Like she was proving something. And I was becoming someone else. A man tracking his wife like a stranger. Looking for a shape in a fog, something familiar hiding in all the wrong places. I kept it quiet. No confrontation. No late-night accusations. I just needed facts. So I reached out to a guy I barely knew, Jake, a mutual friend from college. He worked in IT, had mentioned once that he serviced that part of town. "Hey man," I texted. "Random question. You still do support for Edric Finance?" It took him a few hours to reply. "Yeah, why?" "Just curious. My wife works there. She's been saying the office is crazy busy lately, still open on weekends." Another pause. Then, "Dude, their office has been shut down for months. They're renovating. Everyone's remote since February." I stared at the message. Shut down. Remote. "So no one's there at all?" I asked. "Nope. Building's empty. Probably till fall." I didn't even type. "Thanks." I just sat with it. So it wasn't just the wine receipt. Not just the new perfume or the cold coffee I left untouched in a locked parking lot. She'd built a fictional routine. A second life held together by fake commutes and made-up Mondays. And I'd bought every part of it, like a fool. That night, I watched her eat dinner, laugh at a rerun, scroll her phone like nothing mattered. And I realized, she hadn't lied once. She'd lied constantly. I didn't sleep Friday night. I lay in bed, listening to her breathe beside me. Trying to picture what her Saturdays really looked like, who she smiled at, who she became when she wasn't with me. At 6:30 a.m., she got up. Like clockwork. Coffee. Light makeup. That same soft blouse. "Heading in," she said, grabbing her bag. "Don't wait on dinner, okay?" "Okay. Be safe." She kissed my forehead. By 6:50, she was pulling out of the driveway. And by 6:55, I was right behind her. She didn't go toward her office. Didn't even pretend. She took the freeway south. An hour out of town. Off the exit for a suburban neighborhood I'd never been to. I stayed back 2 cars behind. Every turn she made I matched. Quiet. Careful. Then she pulled into a small side street. Single-story houses. Fresh paint. Quiet lawns. She parked in front of one. Walked up the path. Didn't knock. Used the key. And disappeared inside. I sat there, frozen, engine off. 10 minutes. 15. Then the door opened again. And he stepped out. Tall. Mid-30s. Athletic. T-shirt and flannel pajama pants. Ran his hand through his hair, looked down the street. Like he was checking if the morning paper had arrived. Like this was his life. She followed him out a moment later. Barefoot. Smiling. Smiling. He kissed her. She leaned into it like she belonged. And I realized, she didn't just lie to me. She'd replace me. I drove 3 blocks away. Parked behind a closed bakery. Sat in the car for 20 minutes, staring through the windshield like the air might explain something. My hands were shaking. Not from rage, not yet. It was confusion. A strange kind of vertigo. Who was she? Not just what had she done, but who had she become? I needed to know if he knew. Because one of us was being lied to. Or maybe both. I got out of the car. Walked back. Slow, steady, quiet. House still the same. His truck out front. Her car beside it. I rang the doorbell. The sound echoed in my chest. A few seconds later, the door opened. It was him. Same guy from earlier. T-shirt now swapped for a button-up. Still barefoot. Still casual. He blinked, caught off guard. Can I help you? I looked him in the eyes. I think you can. He frowned. Sorry, do I know you? I'm Megan's husband. He went pale. The silence that followed could have split the driveway. Your what? Yeah. Husband. Married 5 years. Still are. At least we were when she left this morning to go to work. His face collapsed. Not just surprise. Something deeper. The kind of devastation that only happens when your entire reality just rewrote itself. She told me you were her ex. That you moved out a year ago. I nodded slowly. She told me she was working. We stood there. 2 men. 2 timelines. 2 fools caught in one woman's fiction. And somewhere inside that house, she was probably reheating coffee like it was just another Sunday. He let me in. Not out of politeness. Out of necessity. When your life just collapsed on your doorstep, the instinct is to look for witnesses. We sat in his kitchen. Simple, clean. 2 mugs, a coffee maker, mail stacked neatly on the counter. I'm Alex, he said quietly. Daniel. He poured me a cup like we were old friends. Like this wasn't the weirdest morning of our lives. She said she was divorced. Said it was messy but over. She told me she was working weekends. Every single one. He rubbed his face. Jesus. How long have you two? Since late January, he said. We met at a bookstore. She was charming. Confident. Said she was starting over. New town, new job. I believed her. I took out my phone. Pulled up a photo of us, Megan and I, at a friend's wedding last December. Her smile, her hand on my chest, her ring glittering under the lights. He stared at it like it physically hurt. She came here every Saturday, he said. Sometimes Sunday. Said she had a roommate she was trying to distance from. That she couldn't move in fully yet, but she was working on it. So she split her life. I said. Work for me. Weekend romance for you. We both sat in silence for a moment. Not out of shock anymore, that had passed. Now it was clarity. She hadn't picked one of us. She'd picked both. Built a schedule. A rotation. And somewhere inside convinced herself it wasn't wrong, because no one officially knew. Until now. What do you want to do? He asked. I looked at the clock. She'll come out of that shower in 20 minutes. And she'll think this day is still hers. So, let's make sure it's not. We didn't say much while we waited. I stood in the living room. Alex leaned against the hallway wall. The shower was still running upstairs, a distant hum behind drywall and secrets. Every second felt like glass cracking. Then it stopped. Silence. A few seconds later, the sound of the door opening, soft footsteps, the creak of the stairs. And then, there she was. Hair in a towel. Bare feet. Wearing his t-shirt. Frozen mid-step at the bottom stair. Eyes wide. First at me. Then at Alex. Then at the space between us, too small to escape through. What is this? No one answered. She looked at me. Daniel. No. Don't. Her mouth opened. Closed. Turned to Alex. I can explain. He raised a hand. We're not here for that. She went pale. Not crying. Not shouting. Just still. Like her body understood something her brain hadn't caught up to yet. That this was the ending. And it wasn't explosive. It was quiet. Final. Solid. I took my ring from my pocket. Placed it on the coffee table. Alex didn't move. She tried again. Please, just let me. But we were already walking. Out the door. Into the light. 2 men she thought would never meet. Leaving her with a life she built from lies. And nothing else. The end.